It wasn't that difficult because I think there's so many tracks that influence us and that, have a big impact on us. And so we just kind of chose, what was on our mind today. But tomorrow, if you would have asked me, probably been something different, Our first essential track is a song by one of my favorite artists of all time, Tupac.
That's the way it is. Come on. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
I was born in '87, so I grew up a child of the '90s, and '90s hip-hop had a huge influence on me. Tupac especially. Changes is the song that I chose just because I feel like Changes really shows how conscious of a writer Tupac was. He spoke his mind, he spoke his heart. His heart was huge, and you felt it through the music. And I can remember many times listening to that song growing up and just feeling the emotion, even though I never knew him. And that carried with me to today as an artist to want to try to capture real emotion. Lyrically, Tupac was so poetic, but he was also very direct. I think that's hard as a lyricist. Sometimes you want to cover yourself up in metaphors, but also because you feel that it's poetic, but sometimes that's the worst thing you could do, and sometimes the best thing you could do is be direct. And so he had a really beautiful way of language. He inspired me, certainly, as a lyricist.
Second track I would choose as essential would be Pearl Jam's Alive off of their 10 album. Which won them a Grammy, I think, in 1990 or 91. But I don't know. I was a lot like probably every other younger brother. You listen to the music that your older brother listens to be cool, and okay, this is what's cool. And my brother's listening to grunge music. He was listening to Nirvana, Live, Mudhoney, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. So also that has a really awesome guitar solo in it. I'm a guitar player, so that was the first guitar solo I ever learned, and it's very daunting. It's a very, very hard guitar solo, and I kind of was very afraid of it. It's like trying to build a skyscraper it was that daunting, So, I just hacked at it for 6 months straight and learned the guitar solo finally. So that holds a special place in my heart.
Pearl Jam is one of the most iconic bands of the last couple decades, and without their influence, I know that Wayne wouldn't be the guitarist he was, so that certainly impacted our band. As performers, Pearl Jam is one of the best live bands you could ever see live. We try our best to put on a strong live performance, but it's greats like Pearl Jam that laid kind of the tracks for that. The third one is by the Cars, and it's Just What I Needed.
I guess you're just what I needed.
We chose this song because, first of all, because the Cars are amazing and they're sonically, were ahead of their time, but also because when we started our band, we were in Las Vegas and we had to do half of our gigs were cover gigs because we were broke and we were not famous in any way at all. And so in order to pay our bills, we'd go to the hotels in Las Vegas and beg them for a gig. And they said, okay, if you play 50% covers, 50% originals. One of the first original songs we learned to play, or cover songs, that we learned to play was By the Cars, Just What I Needed. And we would play that every night in our 6-hour sets, probably 3 times during the set, and so it left an impact on us. We have gone back to the hotels and seen the stages that we were on, and I think all of us are really grateful we're not there anymore, to be honest with you. Next song we chose was Believer. It's the first single off our new record, Evolve, and that song signifies to me a changeover. It's the difference between where I was in my head with Smoke and Mirrors and where I am now with Evolve. Smoke and Mirrors was I've dealt with depression since I was young. It was a really long bout of depression for me while we were writing that record and when we took it on the road. And then I came home and we took the last 2 years off, and I really got in a great headspace and saw a lot of color came into my life. And Believer's kind of coming from a healthy perspective and looking back on that and being grateful for that. And sometimes you're not grateful for that in the moment, and thus is the ride of anybody who has depression. It's kind of the ups and downs. It comes and it goes, and so it's celebrating that. Celebrating what many people would say is a weakness, which to me I see as a strength, because it breeds art for me. I have to put myself in that spot every time we get on stage, because that's what helps us to perform. Otherwise, the live performance is just playing notes off a record, and that's not a powerful performance. People perceive emotion. They really can feel it. I think it's palpable. It's in the air. That's what people call energy at a concert. What that is it's the artist going to the place that they were and really locking into that emotion, and then the fans feeling that and emoting it back. I really try to go there every time.
And we're basically family at this point. We've been together pretty much straight for 8 years, so if he's writing something, even if it's a little bit cryptic, I know what he's talking about in a way that probably, all but 3 people don't know about. So I don't think there's been many lyrics he's written that I haven't related to. I think it's awesome, and I think he's a great lyricist, and I resonate with everything he writes, even if it, has nothing to do with me. I don't even ask him what his lyrics are about most of the time, because I don't want to know. Whenever I would see an artist that I loved and they explain the song, I didn't really like to hear it. I wanted to interpret it the way that I wanted to interpret it. It meant something personal to me. So, yeah, I just as soon leave the lyrics inside his own head, and I can interpret it my own way.
Yeah, the 5th essential track we chose was Thunder. For us right now, our minds are on the current songs. It's on the current album, and so Thunder seemed to fit perfectly because it's about coming into your own. My younger years were sometimes great and sometimes awful, and part of my middle school experience was really awful, and but I'm grateful for it because it turned me to music. I hated school. I had no direction. I was really lost. I was rebelling at home in a lot of ways, and so for me, I escaped from all of that to music. And I picked up a guitar and taught myself to play basic chords and sit down on the piano, and then I recorded songs on our computer at home, and that was me preparing myself for where I am now. I didn't know that at the time, but that's what it was. And so Thunder's about reflecting on that period of time that was a low point for me, and perceiving it as that lightning before the thunder. It was that beginning spark that led to what is now Imagine Dragons in a lot of ways. If I only could have reached over to that little lanky kid with braces and an expander and Coke bottle glasses and said, hey, it's gonna be okay. I think, that would have been nice, but yeah.